Hey y'all, welcome to Diamond and Silk, the podcast. We're your host, Diamond and Silk, and Silk oh Silk.
Diamond, oh Diamond.
Okay, a lot of stuff to talk about this week, and
Yes.
we do have a special guest on the show
Uh-huh.
today. But before we get started, I want you to all to stop right now.
Stop.
And subscribe to this podcast, so each time we drop a new episode, you will receive notification. And don't forget about our book, Uprising, Who's the House That You Can't Ditch and Switch, The Awakening of Diamond and Silk. You can get the book at Diamond and Silk Bookstore.com.
And if you would like to be a sponsor of this podcast, feel free to email us at info@diamondandsilk.com. That's info@diamondandsilk.com. And don't forget to check us out over there at Chattit, ChatDit.com.
Okay, so Silk, you know I love conversation.
Yes.
And anytime something jump off in the country that I don't like, I like to have a conversation.
That's
But
right.
what jumped off in the country was about Maxine Waters, and it was so disturbing.
Uh-huh.
We had to invite our favorite Congresswoman,
Yes.
Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, in to discuss with us.
That's
and I
right.
want you all to join the conversation. So come on,
Come on.
let's come on in and see what Congresswoman is talking about.
That's right.
Please welcome to the show, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Hello, Congresswoman.
Hello. Thanks so much for having me on.
Oh,
Wow.
thanks for being here.
Yeah.
So Maxine Waters, she put her foot in her mouth the other night
Like she always do.
in Minnesota, saying some disparaging, threatening things.
Uh-huh.
And in case everybody hadn't seen it, I want y'all to take a look.
Form. And so, yes, I would like to see the bill in Congress pass on police reform, but I know that the right wing, the racists, are opposed to it, and I don't know what's going to happen to it, but I know this: we've got to stay in the street, and we've got to demand justice.
As a black man, despite all of the efforts, I feel like nothing changes. And George Floyd is waking so many people up, yet nothing has happened. Despite the rhetoric, like what needs to happen that's different this year than all the years
We're
before?
looking for a guilty verdict. We're looking for a guilty verdict, and we're looking to see if all of the fault that took place and has been taking place after they saw what happened to George Floyd, if nothing does not happen, then we know that we've got to not only stay in the street, but we've got to fight for justice. But I am very hopeful, and I hope that we're going to get a verdict that will say guilty, guilty, guilty. And if we don't, we cannot go away.
And not just manslaughter, right? I mean,
Oh no, not manslaughter. No. This is guilty for murder. I don't know whether it's in the first degree, but as far as I'm concerned, it's first degree murder.
Congresswoman, what happens if we do not get what you just told? What should the people do? What should protesters on the street do?
I didn't hear you.
What happens?
what should protesters do?
Well, we got to stay on the street, and we've got to get more active. We've got to get more confrontational. We've got to make sure that they know that we mean business.
Okay, Congresswoman.
Yeah.
So we don't like the things that she said. She's inciting violence. I call this an insurrection.
Yes.
What say you, and what do you plan to do about it?
Well, everyone knows that Representative Maxine Waters, as a United States Congresswoman, has a history of going out in the street and inciting violence, inciting riots. The words that she has spoken for years now, going all the way back into the 90s, have been dangerous rhetoric. But when she went into Minnesota, a state that she does not even live in, crossed state lines, went to the Brooklyn Center, a source in an area of dangerous riots, violence, all of this happening with Antifa and BLM domestic terrorists. She went up in there and just started getting the crowd going, telling them to stay in the streets, telling them to get more confrontational. So the question is, what is more confrontational than the riots we have seen all year long over this past year? What's more confrontational than burning, looting, attacking innocent people, killing innocent Americans like David Dorn, attacking police officers, federal buildings, tearing down monuments? What is more confrontational than that is the question for Maxine Waters. If she wants more confrontation than what we have seen over the past year that has been dangerous and terrible, then she is literally asking for war in the streets of America. And that is what a United States congressman went and did. And so this is why I'm introducing the resolution to expel Maxine Waters. She is a danger to our peaceful society.
And you know what? If Maxine Waters was a Republican, they would have expelled her from all of her duties, her committees. They would be calling for her impeachment, for her for her to retire. They would take her and deem her as a racist, even though she's black. They would do all of that if she was a Republican. And I found out that Nancy Pelosi is standing behind Maxine Waters.
And her words talking about it's about civil rights. But inciting violence is not about civil rights. If we look back in the days of Martin Luther King, you know, we wasn't born back like that era. But during the days of Martin Luther King, he didn't promote violence. He didn't go out and incite violence. So how is this tied to the civil rights movement with what Maxine Waters said? I don't understand that.
It's not tied to the civil rights movement. That's just that's the cover. And Nancy Pelosi is basically rubber stamping Maxine Waters' words. She's saying it's okay. She has nothing to apologize for. But just remember, a few months ago, they impeached President Trump, saying that he incited the riot at the Capitol on January 6th, when all our president said was to march peacefully to the Capitol and make your voices heard. He didn't tell people to stay in the streets and get more confrontational like Maxine Waters did. He said march peacefully. And listen, take it from me, ladies. They kicked me off of my committees. They introduced a resolution to expel me, but I have done nothing wrong as a member of Congress. They can't even file an ethics complaint on me because I have had no behavior that has been anything to complain about. But yet here is Maxine Waters, a 16-term Congresswoman, out in the streets. She crossed state lines, broke curfew, told people to break curfew, break the law, stay in the streets, get more confrontational, and she threatened a jury during the closing statements of a trial, which the judge himself.
Yes, it's called jury intimidation.
You intimidated a whole jury pool. Let me tell you something. Our justice system is our justice system for a reason. Now, you may not like the justice system, but you have to let it play out. You cannot threaten and say, if this don't happen, we're going to do this in the streets. You can't do no mess like that.
And she didn't seem to be scared. I see that the Congress, they're scared up there in D.C. They're surrounded by all of this security, but she was out there in the streets.
With the people.
But she wasn't scared.
So the hypocrisy of that is crazy to us.
Absolutely. Well, you know, Maxine Waters, she's basically the de facto commander of the Antifa BLM domestic terrorists that are terrorizing Americans night after night. And then she calls herself Auntie Maxine. Let me ask you something. I'm an aunt. I have nieces and nephews. I would never tell my nieces and nephews to take to the streets and destroy their neighborhoods because that's where they live. I want them to have safe and peaceful neighborhoods. I want them to have stores that they can go grocery shop in. But yet here she is calling herself Auntie Maxine. I'm your auntie. I want to take care of you. And then she's telling them to go out there and fight in the streets. Get out there, stay in the streets, get more confrontational. Here she is encouraging these people to destroy their own neighborhoods, all in the name of changing the police and changing, ending systemic racism and all of this.
But when you talk about systemic racism, the Democrat Party put the systems in place. Because look at who's controlling things now. Who controls our media? Who controls other entities? Our social media. Not only that, she claimed to be the auntie, the savior of the people, but she not. And it's so sad with her being a black woman, how she's exploited the pains of people, and now she convinced them to go destroy their neighborhoods, and she go back to her $1 million mansion somewhere in California. So I also think that that's crazy too.
Yeah, no, that's right. Absolutely. No, this is a very rich and powerful Congresswoman. She does not live in those neighborhoods. She doesn't even live in her district. She lives in a very nice mansion outside of her district. And then here she is. She sits up in here in Washington, D.C., completely protected. But yet when she wants to make a political point, she flies into Minnesota and gets out there in the streets with these radical domestic terrorists. and basically tells them to go out there and tear down their neighborhoods.
Wow. It's
And
sad.
she threatens a jury saying she's demanding a guilty verdict. This woman is out of control.
She is. Go ahead.
And the sad thing is that they're not all Black people. I want people to look at that because
No, they're not.
I looked at and I'm like, wait a minute, it's not a lot of Black people out here. I see a lot of white people out here doing
right.
It brings me back to this here particular thing when you talk about, she says she's auntie. What she's trying to do once again is tie into the pains of Black people to have you come out here and you innocently come out here because what she's doing is using Black people to push a white liberal agenda.
That is exactly right.
Here.
Wow.
And a lot of people is missing that particular point. That's why she come out and say, auntie, that's because I'm your family. I'm going to be here to protect you. But if you go and look at the district that she represents, it's so much homeless and boo-boo in the streets, it don't make any doggone sense.
And this is why I'm introducing my resolution to expel Maxine Waters, because she isn't out there to take care of people. She isn't out there looking out for people. She's out there pushing the Democrats' radical agenda, and it has nothing to do with caring for the people that live in that city. It has nothing to do with ending systemic racism. It has everything to do with the Democrats' radical agenda to destroy this nation and take away all of our freedoms. And you can't put a color on that, because we all know, as President Trump used to tell us, and he still says, that every single one of us bleed red, white, and blue. And that is what this country is for.
And if she cared about Black people or those minority communities, you wouldn't want to defund the police, because those are going to be the first people affected by crime and violence in the community. So you got one more thing?
Yeah, what I wanted to say is I see that they're trying to implement term limits for the Supreme Court justices. We need term limits for Congress people.
Yes.
Just like
I signed that one. I signed that term limit. I am happy to term limit Congress. It needs to be done. Maxine Waters has served 16 terms in Congress. Nancy Pelosi has been there longer than I've been alive, practically. Look at Joe Biden. He's been in there longer than I've been alive. This country is being run down and destroyed by these criminal career politicians that don't care about you, they don't care about me, and they don't care about anyone in a poor neighborhood, because here's Maxine Waters out there telling them to take to the streets, get more confrontational. It is ridiculous. We've had enough.
It's sad, it's ridiculous. And once again, if this was a Republican, by Monday morning, by that next morning, there would have been some measures in place and that person would have been removed. And these are the words that came out of her mouth, directly out of her mouth. The whole world heard what she said. And then for her to take and criticize somebody else, and she sit right there and do these damnable things, she needs to be gone, removed, impeach.
Whatever we can do.
Yeah, let's impeach Maxine Waters. How about
that? She does. She needs to be expelled. We can expel her. We can expel her. And then here's the other thing. If I had gone out and said those things, I would be hanging from the gallows up there in front of the Capitol. You know, they would have had my head on a platter, or any other Republican. They would never allow it. And this is the same. These are the same people. And think about this, that had to surround this Capitol with a big old fence with razor wire and the military to push their power into play. And now they're going out there in the streets and telling people to just go out of control and demanding a verdict, the verdict they want out of the jury, instead of letting the trial and letting the jury tampering do its job.
That's like jury tampering, jury intimidation. Yeah. I mean, I thought we had laws in this country against that.
We supposedly do, but the ones that are the lawmakers and in charge don't care what the laws are. They only care about their agenda.
Right. Wow. Well, you know what? They may not care, but we care. Thank you so much, Congresswoman. Yes. I know you got some things to take care of, so we're not going to hold you. Thank you so much for being with us, and we'll keep watching this from here. Yeah. Go ahead and do your job and work for the American people. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you, ladies. And I love it when you put out the video praying over President Trump. I love that one.
Every day.
It out. Yes.
Every day. We pray.
Day. At 11.
God bless you both. Keep up the great work.
We will. God bless you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. I'm headed in to file the resolution to expel Congresswoman Maxine Waters. She flew to Minnesota, crossed state lines, incited riots, causing the Minnesota National Guard to be fired upon. Thank God no one died. She also tried to threaten the jury, saying that people should stay in the streets and get more confrontational. What's more confrontational than the riots that the American people have endured over the past year? It's time to expel Maxine Waters.
What a great conversation.
Yes.
You know, I really hope that Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene really makes some changes up there, some needed changes. We really do need term limits in this country.
Yes, we sure do.
You have all of these people about 100 years old running things and running it into the ground.
That's right. And from the way that Maxine Waters was acting, that's why I call her Gangster-lean Maxine.
She was acting real gangster.
Yes.
Listen. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast. So each time we drop a new episode, you will receive notification. And don't forget about our book, Uprising. Who the Hell Said You Can't Ditch and Switch? The Awakening of Diamond and Silk. You can get the book at Diamond and Silk Bookstore.com.
And if you would like to be a sponsor of this podcast, feel free to send an email to info@diamondandsilk.com. That's info@diamondandsilk.com. Don't forget to check us out over there at Chattit, ChatDit.com. And don't forget to give us a review. And a 5-star will do.
So listen, we was just coming to give y'all the 211. We call it the 211 because it's two of us.
And we're the ones giving it to you.
So in the meantime and in between time, we will see you all next time right here on Diamond and Silk, the podcast.
Bye-bye.
Hey y'all,
Hey.
Today's show is being brought to you by Baby Mama Health Supplements. Now, do you guys feel like you need a cleanse or a detox after 2020?
Do you?
Like all that stress, tension, and negativity just got you feeling exhausted.
Or maybe you put on pandemic pounds and need a reset.
You're right, Silk. I'm starting to look like a well-rounded apple around in my midsection. Well, our new sponsor has just released an all-natural vitamin set that will help your body get back on track. I love that.
That's right.
Baby Mama's Bundle Cleanse contains an all-natural liver and colon cleanse that works together to eliminate toxins, waste, and stored fat. So head over there to babymama.online and look for the Bundle Cleanse.
That's right.
Don't forget to use code DS21 to save 20% off your entire purchase.
That's babymama.online.
Hey y'all,
Hey.
It's Diamond and Silk. Listen,
Listen.
we still have a patriot out there fighting for the integrity of the 2020 election. So we must support him.
That's right.
Now that's Mike Lindell. So I want you to head over there to MyPillow.com, purchase anything on the site, and make sure you use code DS21. That's code DS21. Go to MyPillow.com.
And when you use code DS21, you can save up to 66%. Make your purchase now at MyPillow.com or call toll-free 1-800-667-2756. That's 1-800-667-2756 and save up to 66%.
Silk, it sound like you save a lot. So head over there to MyPillow.com.